All right, we're live. How's everybody doing?
Hey, we're doing great.
We are, yeah, and why are you doing so great, Professor Dustin?
Well, first of all, I have some, as you can see, I have some tech because we're talking about gadgets today. So I brought some gadgets with me. And the other reason that I'm excited is because today we are back on the road. We left this morning. We are out near Augusta, Georgia, right on the lake. I mean, I could throw a rock into the lake from our RV, and it's just great to be back traveling, man.
Sorry, I'm a little bit of technical difficulties here.
It's all good.
Yeah. All right. So this is not a green screen.
That's pretty cool.
This is not a green screen. Let me get out of the way a little bit. Do a little panning here real quick. This has nothing to do with Tech Talk, obviously.
Yeah, they just let you take over the whole place there, huh?
Yeah, I am in the old Nick Williams distillery in North Carolina, and
Pretty cool.
I actually have the tripod's actually sitting on a bar stool, so I can spin it around without making people seasick.
Yeah,
So,
that's cool.
But really excited to be here. Really great place, and yeah, drinks are on me for anybody who wants to come hang out here.
How far of a drive is that? We can get back in the truck. It's pretty expensive.
Honestly, for you, 4 hours maybe?
That's not bad. We just got done driving 5.
And it's a Harvest Host location.
Yeah.
So we got 8 folks in the room. Hello, everybody. Before we do get really going here, I do want to take a quick minute. And I'm sure most everybody here has heard that Diana Holly, Jerry's wife, passed away early this morning. So I just wanted to just say a quick moment of silence, for Jerry and his family. And it's, unfortunately, it wasn't unexpected, but you're never ready for this kind of stuff. So if we could just just a short moment of silence in memory of Diana, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, folks. So again, we are at our gracious host here at the old Nick Williams distillery and farm. And they've been around since 1679.
Wow.
And excellent products. We purchased many of their products. Would have purchased all their products, but you got to draw the line somewhere. So go ahead and start throwing up. If you have tech questions today, type the word question in all caps, and then type your question after it, so I can, because Shelly's not helping me moderate today. She's actually sitting here taking a picture of me or a video. I'm not sure exactly what she's doing. So I'll do my best to keep an eye on it. But what we're talking about today is must-have gadgets for a YouTuber, and and when I say must-have, I mean must-have. I don't mean nice to have. And I'll just go ahead and spill the beans a little bit. You don't need a drone to have a good YouTube channel.
No, you don't.
Yeah. And you don't. And again, as for those of you who longtime students of Tech Talk University know, I'm all about the inexpensive way to do things. So the first thing, excuse me, did the tasting earlier. And because they have whiskey, bourbon, Jamaican rum, Carolina rum, vodka. Did I miss anything? Oh yeah, the cinnamon infused cocktail whiskey, which is amazing. Shelly's hopefully gonna be trying to make some cookies with that cinnamon infused whiskey today. But so I'm all about inexpensive stuff. And for those of you who saw Professor Dustin here when he first started up, when we first started the live stream, he had something on his head. And what he head amounted to about $45 worth of gear, I think, if that.
There we go.
And tell the class what you got on your head.
Well, the harness is just an adapter that you can screw the action cam on. So it's a like a $50 action cam that you can get on Amazon or anywhere. I call it the No Pro, but I've heard people call it the Faux Pro. But it's kind of like a No Pro with just a little bit lower quality, but it has all the same types of features. The audio is not as great, but we don't really use it for audio. We use ours mostly for time lapse, honestly, and they work pretty well for time lapse. There's different settings for like a 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 5 second, depending on what kind of a time lapse you're doing. And as you can see, there's different things that you can attach this to. So I actually wore this when we went to Pigeon Forge. We went on one of those mountain coasters.
Oh yeah, I love those. They're fun.
And so it's a little shaky because my head was like shaking around and stuff, but it gets the job done, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah, and on Amazon, they have probably about 4 or 5 different manufacturers of these. My daughter calls them Faux Pros, so I'm stuck with the Faux Pro name. And and I think Ape Cam is one.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different.
I think that's the one you have, Dustin, right? Is the Ape? And there's a few other names, but they're all basically Chinese knockoffs of GoPros. That's really what they are, and they run $40 to $50. Some are waterproof. Well, not waterproof. They all come with a case. Yeah, but that case, you have to use that case to be able to mount it to anything, which is a big difference with the GoPro. And why the audio stinks is because the microphone is stuck inside that case. Yeah. They do have 2 different back panels, one that's waterproof and solid, and you won't run the camera very long with that one because it'll start overheating. But then you've got one that'll that has slots in it for breathing. But the audio quality just isn't there. And you can buy these for another $20 or so, you can get a huge accessory kit that includes all of these accessories. And the cool thing about all of these accessories are, whenever you do decide you want to go up and get an actual GoPro, all of those accessories work with a GoPro.
They will, yeah.
And that's what I use. I mean, I started off with the Faux Pro, and then we went ahead and bought the GoPro. And I'll be honest with you, we use the GoPro a lot, but the video quality is a little bit better on the GoPro, and of course the audio quality is a lot better on the GoPro. But if I had never bought the GoPro, it wouldn't have hurt my feelings. So
we talked about getting a GoPro, but we just never have. I mean, we do most of our shooting with a regular Canon camera, but like I said, for time lapses, this thing's really good. Yeah,
and I got to throw this up there. Yeah, me too, John. And the biggest thing too with that is it has tons and tons of accessories, like I said, you can get with it. And since they can all work with a real GoPro, you're fine. Now, before you go out and spend the money on a real GoPro, really do your research and see if it's something that you really need to spend, $200, $300, $400 on versus what you got. Because honestly, I think I made a mistake by buying my GoPro. I really do. I don't. I wish I'd have gone a different route and not spent that money. But I didn't know what I didn't know at the time. And also, I didn't know that Dustin's latest video that he dropped yesterday was going to be about the gadgets they use for vlogging. When I made this title, apparently we're either having some kind of mind meld going on, which is scary, or it's just pure coincidence. I'm going with that just so I don't. And
I talked about the cameras, the actual pieces of equipment themselves, but I really didn't talk too much about the accessories. So I brought some of the accessories today, especially for the action cam, because like you said, it has so many different things. I'm getting ready to show you my favorite accessory because, like I said, we use it mostly for time lapses. So this thing will mount right to this little clamp, and I can clamp this to a picnic table, to the awning on the RV, to the truck bed. I mean, you can mount this anywhere, clip it to whatever, and you're recording. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. And I hitch up and tell you, you still use your phone. Yeah, really the best. Everybody already has honestly, everybody already has everything they need to start a YouTube channel if you have a smartphone. It doesn't even have to be a new smartphone. It could be one that's 5 years old even. If it can shoot HD quality video, and almost all of them can, that's at least 5 or 6 years old, that's pretty much all you need. Then you just go from there. So you've already got everything you need. Because I mean, you can even edit the video right there on your phone and publish it right there on your phone. So technically, you don't even need a computer. Having a computer will make things a lot easier, but for starting out, just having your phone is really all you need. And so the must-have accessory number one is a decent camera, and that decent camera can be your cell phone. It can be the Faux Pro, as long as you're not worried about audio. And I'll tell you right now, I have 2 Faux Pros. The first one we bought, it was cool, didn't like the audio. Then I found one that actually had an external mic. It's like, okay, cool. So now I can plug a microphone in it. Well, what I didn't realize and what I didn't know at the time was it's actually a proprietary connection. So the only microphone you can connect to it is the microphone they provide. And it's kind of a crappy microphone. And you'd have to drill a hole in the case, in that clear case that Dustin was showing. You'd have to drill a hole in that to be able to plug it. So then you would lose the ability for it to be weatherproof. So that's part of the reasons why we went to the GoPro, is to have that. Now, another must-have accessory, and I mean, this really is a tripod. I don't have my tripod here because I'm actually using it on. We have 2, but again, you can buy a $400, $500 tripod, and you can buy a $30 tripod, and the difference that you'll notice between the two is probably about that much.
Yeah, the price.
Yeah, besides the price, so I had a tripod I bought 30 years ago, and I think I paid $20 for it, which again, 30 years ago was a lot more money than it is today. And it still works today. I mean, I bought it from like Walmart or something. The only problem is I gave it to my daughter before we started the YouTube channel, so she took it. So I had to go buy another. Buy another tripod.
So there's really no need to buy a $200 tripod. You buy a $20 tripod, it works almost exactly the same. And I can lose it or break it 10 times, and it's still not going to cost what a $200 tripod costs. So a lot of people get hung up because they see the bigger YouTube channels whenever they talk about what their gear is. Now, if you have a YouTube channel that has 500,000 viewers or 500,000 subscribers, and they're making a couple thousand, $3,000 a month, then a $300 tripod, big deal. But if you have a 300 subscriber channel and you're making nothing, and you're not planning on making nothing for a long time off of YouTube, then, do you really need a $300 tripod? Yeah. Artist on the Road asked, would a Faux Pro make a good dash cam? That depends on which direction you are trying to film. If you are trying to vlog yourself, no. If you're trying to record you driving, then it'll be fine. Because like I said, with the audio, if when you see these channels where you get the view of the 2 people sitting there talking, they're not using a Faux Pro because the audio is just not good enough. Because it has to be in that case to be able to hook to an accessory to mount to the dash, which kills the audio. But if you're just recording you driving down the road, then it'll be fine.
Old-fashioned. Yeah, and they do make dash cams. I don't think I have the links in the description of this video. Actually, I do. Because we have a dash cam, and it has a forward and rear-facing camera, and it's a color camera. So you got to be careful when you buy actual dash cams that have a rear-facing camera, because most of them are black and white. So you want to make sure you have a color camera. The one we have, and I think it was like $190. And it's a Tasco or something like that's the name of it. And it shoots great video. And I think we don't use it that much as far as our YouTube videos. The last time we used it, if you go and look at our MacDill Air Force Base FAM camp review, the very beginning of it, it shows an A-10 taking off and banking hard. That was straight from the dash cams. We were standing in line to go on base, and that's what that was. So for a dash cam, and I think about that too, the dash cam's always running. It's always running, and it runs on a loop. So if your car's running, you got it plugged in, it's always running. You don't have to worry about setting it up or anything. I will never put a GoPro on a $20 tripod, and the wind came and blew over the tripod, and I had to replace the cage to keep that in mind when you buy gear. Yeah, good point. That's a really good point. I mean, if you have a inexpensive tripod, most of the time they're very light. So if you get one that's like 6 feet, that'll extend up to 6 feet, and it doesn't have a very wide base, you can easily tip over. So just take a look at it. You don't. Again, the tripod I've got here, I think we spent $50 on, because it's the cheapest one we could find at the time. But the one we keep in the car, I think we spent $30 on it, and it's not quite as nice as the $50 one. Well, $150, $130, but they both work fine for us. But always be careful, especially in windy conditions, or you might have your GoPro get knocked over, or your drone get thrown into a branch and crash onto the ground. Yeah. Not that I have any experience on that last one.
And there's different types of tripods. The No Pro actually comes with a little baby tripod, like this fella right here, and you can either put that out as a tripod, like on the picnic table, to do a time lapse or talk to it if you can vlog to it, or you can use it just as a handle when you're moving around and videoing. So pretty cool. And then you got your medium size tripods. And this is the one we carry around most of the time, because this thing's versatile. It'll flex out into a tripod, and it will also bend and grab onto branches or whatever. So that
did you get that at Walmart?
Yeah, it's a Walmart special.
Yeah, I was gonna say we got the same one.
Yep. Walmart. I think it was like $10 or something. I mean, I've had this for 2 years. It's no problem at all. Yeah,
and so the must-have, you just need a camera that shoots HD with decent audio. That's the must-have. The Faux Pro is a nice-to-have. A tripod, I'll go and say a tripod is probably a must-have, because there's times where you're going to want to take, like right now, you want to do a monologue or something like that, or film some talking, or film a time lapse. Having a tripod and having that steady base, is critical. It's the only way you can do it. But you can't sit here and hold the phone out like this, for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
One of the cool features, and again, for those of you who have been following our channel for a long time, one of the cool features of that accessory kit that Dustin was talking about is one of the connections it has is what I use when I have to use my cane. I call it my cane cam. It's actually a handlebar mount for the GoPro, but I put it on my cane. So, and we've shot videos where we've had, me walking with a cane, and the GoPro has such a nice image stabilization built in that you can hardly tell that I'm moving with a cane and a limp with it.
Yeah, that thing it'll attach to handlebars of a bicycle, or I think I wrapped it around one of the little hitch strap bars in the bed of the truck one time to shoot into the bed of the truck. I mean, it'll hook to a lot of places also.
Yeah, it's very versatile. Now, when it's time to start spending a little bit of money, my recommendation for the first thing to be what I call over $100 on is this guy, which is the DJI Osmo gimbal. And this is where you get steady shots with your cell phone. You hook your cell phone in it, and it gives you those smooth, as you walk, the camera stays smooth. And this was our first major YouTube purchase. And this is what I highly recommend is my must-have expensive YouTube thing. I guess the best way to put it. What's yours, Dustin? What do you think? If somebody's starting ready to go over $100 or $150, what do you think they should get?
Well, I mean, the first thing is I would invest in a pretty decent vlogging camera. You know, for us, it was about $350, and it was the Canon SX730HS. So you could go out there and get you an M50 for a ton of money, or you go a little cheaper, and you're not going to get that as good of a quality. Actually, if you go out and get like a $250 camera or less, it's probably going to be not as even good as quality as your phone.
Yeah.
So when you talk about cameras that you're going to carry with you, you're going to have to fork out probably $300 to $350 to even start getting into decent cameras.
And again, remember, you know, your cell phone, especially if you have a newer one, like 3 years old or newer. I mean, a lot of those shoot 4K. So, you know, you have, and the audio quality isn't there. You can either get a Bluetooth mic or a wired mic excuse me, I'll be right back.
All right. So that's the one thing that, so I was just talking about the Canon SX 730HS. Let me take it off the tripod so I can show it to you. The one that I featured in the video that we just did, but this is the Canon. And what I like about this is it's on the lower end of cost when you get into the cameras that are worth purchasing. But the downfall is it does not have the external mic jack. The mic is actually up here in the top. But for me, one of the most important things was being able to see myself to make sure I'm in frame. So I like to flip up. Some of them have flipped out to the side. Mine flips up to the top. I like that it flips up to the top because the mic is here. So when the wind is blowing toward you, like if I'm looking at it like this, the wind's blowing toward me, this is now blocking the wind from the mic. So it's not getting that muffled sound. Now, if the wind's blowing from this way, it's going to hit that screen and catch it and blow it right down into the mic. So you got to watch your wind direction with this guy.
Yeah, and we actually have the similar camera to that. One thing I wanted was a point and shoot camera, and I really wanted one with an external mic jack, but I honestly couldn't find one that was less than $500, and I'm not paying $500 for a point and shoot camera.
And I'll tell you that, you know, especially for starting off, one of the best things about this guy is when you first start and you're a little nervous about vlogging in public, and you feel a little weird carrying around a big camera with a boom mic and the dead cat and all that stuff on it. So this guy will fit right in your pocket. And so if you're feeling uncomfortable, you just put it in your pocket. And then when you find a little place where you can vlog comfortably, you take it out, you pop the thing up, you turn it on, and you're vlogging. And it goes right back away in your pocket. Yeah,
and when you turn it on, it's on. I mean, you got from the time you hit the on button to the time you can record, it's probably like 3 or 4 seconds.
Yeah,
it is just that quick. So I don't think I've seen any questions come through that I don't think I've missed any. Oh, you shared the link for the tripod. Well, Dustin said he bought it a few years ago, Doreen.
They still have them. I mean, you go to the camera section at Walmart, they probably have 3 or 4 at every Walmart. I mean, it looks just like this, and I think they're like between 10 and $15. They're not much at all.
Yeah, and we bought ours a couple of months ago, and it's the same design, same color. They haven't even changed that.
We didn't buy a Walmart online. We actually went into the store and just grabbed it. I mean, and I've never been into a Walmart and they not have these. They always have these guys.
Yeah. Castle Hive, no, I have never even heard of that gimbal, to be honest with you. But that doesn't mean it's good or bad. I mean, I'm not the all-knowing tech person. I know a little bit about some stuff.
Yeah.
And one thing I know is I've been looking forward to this one for quite a while.
It looks tasty.
This, my friends, is an old-fashioned. Cheers. Oh man, my compliments to the chef. That's one of the best ones I've had ever. So if you guys come on down here, they make a mean old-fashioned.
Got my water.
So and here's the other thing, you guys. I mean, we talked a little bit about gimbals, and I know Castle Hive is throwing some. I've never heard of that particular brand, so I don't know if it's any good or not. I know when we went, we needed a gimbal. We know we needed a gimbal because the first time we tried to shoot some video, and it was all over the place like this. We went to Best Buy and bought a gimbal. They had two different ones to choose from, if I remember correctly. So we bought the cheapest one because that's me. And it absolutely sucked. I don't remember the brand name or anything. I just remember it was horrible. We couldn't get it to work. And we're like, all right, forget this. Got on YouTube, searched around. Okay, I guess we need to go get the DJI Osmo. And that's what we did. And that's all the research we really did. So we didn't look at others. I am looking for others because I'd like to have a gimbal I can actually use with my point and shoot camera.
Yeah.
And because I need that because I can't hold it steady and walk. It does have some built-in image stabilization, but apparently I am not stable enough for that image stabilization to work.
Yeah, it's frustrating when you shoot something and to you it looks fine while you're shooting it, and then when you get home and you go into editing and you're like, man, this is trash. I can't even use it.
Yeah, and that's what happened to us just a few days ago because it's the first time using this point and shoot camera. And Moondance, the bars are closed here in North Carolina too, but the wineries and distilleries are open.
That's awesome.
So one thing too that another must-have, I think, and again, you got to be careful when you're watching these YouTube videos about, this is what I use to vlog. Because if you watch, KYD or Nomadic Fanatic or any of the, Changing Lanes, these guys have been around for years and have huge followings. If they throw out a video or they throw in their description what they're using, that's what they're using today, not what they started using when they made their first video.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, like I said earlier, for those of you who weren't here in the beginning, KYD may have a $4,000 or $5,000 setup that they use when they film a video between the cameras and lights and tripods and all this other stuff. Okay, that doesn't mean you need to spend that kind of money. And a great example of that is with microphones. Now these are the Yellowway lapel microphones. I love these. I think it was $30 I paid for these. And it actually is two lapel mics with 6-foot cords. It also has a 6-foot extension cord and a Y adapter, so I can actually plug both microphones into one source.
Nice.
And again, links in the description below for this too. Great sound quality. And I mean, everybody says you got to get a Rode mic. You got to get a Rode mic. You got to get a Rode mic. No, you don't. Is a Rode mic better than this? Yeah. If you compare dollar to dollar, is a Rode mic better? Maybe, maybe not. But I don't know how much a Rode mic costs off the top of my head, but is it worth double? The $30 I'm paying for this? Are you getting double the sound quality? Probably not. So go with what works for you. The same goes with, we have a wireless mic. You hear me talk about Fi-Fi and wireless mics all the time.
Yep.
Now, Daydream About Nice Things is in here. I mean, he's, I don't know what he is, the affiliate master of Fi-Fi. But the Fi-Fi wireless mic, and I learned from Papa Drew, who was in here a little while ago. I don't know if he still is. He did a video on it, and it's a $40 wireless mic, which has multiple channels. So if one channel is getting stepped on because of wherever you're at, you can change channels. That's a great deal, and and it has great sound quality. Wireless mic, and tell you if the first time you use any external microphone, if it's wired, you're going to want a wireless mic really quickly after that. And then you forget that you have the wired mic on, and you go to stand up and walk away, and you yank the camera off the tripod off the table, and everything else. Then you're like, you know what? Maybe I need a wireless mic. So, And I'm trying to keep my eye here on the chat to see if I do have any questions pop up. Now we're going to do in a few minutes. We're going to try to do a couple of channel reviews.
Cool.
So if you want a channel review, don't put it in right now, but wait till I ask, and we'll try to get in 2 or 3. The other thing, and see, I'm looking at my bag, and again, here's the other thing. You know, you're like, oh, I got to have this expensive camera bag. Well, here's the bag we carry all of our YouTube stuff in. You know what this bag is? It's an insulated cooler bag.
That's awesome.
And for years, even before we did YouTube, when I had a 35 millimeter camera back when we still had film, and I kept that. I had a smaller insulated coolers because they're padded.
Yeah.
So they have padding in them, and it suited my needs. It was small. It was easy to use. For me, I need stuff that's compact and easy to use one-handed because my other hand is holding a leash 99% of the time with power. So having the point and shoot camera is critical to me, and having something I can just pull out of my pocket, hit one button, it's on, and I can either hit the video button or the take a picture button without playing with dials and settings and everything else is awesome for me.
Yeah, you definitely want something that's got some padding in it, because I mean the last thing you want to do is spend all of this money on this stuff and then it's all banging clanging around together, and then tearing up your stuff. And so I wasn't going to show it, but I'll show the bag that we got, and it's Amazon. It's Amazon basic bag, and it's got a couple of little things there. It's not huge, and you can see in there it has different. Let me get this way. Different compartments. Yeah. There's all my No Pro accessories. I have different cameras that go in here. So I have spots for 4 different cameras in there. And then there's some stuff up here where I keep SIM cards and chargers. And there's a pocket up front. There's pockets on both sides. And I can carry almost everything that I need in that bag right there. So, and that's a $30 bag from Amazon.
Yeah. Now, what I'm looking for is I'm actually looking for a backpack version of that. I haven't looked real hard yet because obviously I need the hands free.
Now we do use just like a regular backpack to carry our drone in, because our drone already comes in a protective case. So I can throw this right in the backpack, and yeah, believe it or not, that's how big our drone is. But it's the DJI Spark, and I can throw this in the backpack. I can take my drone anywhere. So that's the advantage of having a smaller drone and a least expensive drone. We haven't talked about drones because drones are not must-haves. But if you're gonna get a drone, I recommend DJI. I know you fly DJI, and I recommend getting a smaller one because the last thing you want is this huge guy that you gotta lug around, and it's just awkward. So when I get done, I still want to explore. I just toss this in the backpack and we keep going. Yeah,
and just real quick on the drone piece, I mean, as most of you know, I have or had, well, I guess I technically still have it. It's in the hospital, but the DJI Mavic Mini. Now, the nice thing about the Mavic Mini is it's under the weight limit to require a license from the FAA. So that's the nice thing about it. It's also the cheapest DJI drone. And again, like Dust said, if you're going to buy a drone, if you want to just learn how to fly one, go to Walmart and buy a $30 drone. But here's the thing. I guarantee you that $30, $40 drone you buy from Walmart is going to be harder to fly than my DJI Mavic Mini or any of the DJI products.
That's why I took so long to buy a drone, because I went and got it was like a $50 drone from Kohl's or something for a Christmas special. And I tried to fly this thing, and it's smacking off trees. It's hitting the ground. I'm like, I'm not going to spend $400 on a drone. I'll crash it. Mm-hmm. And I had somebody that I talked to said, man, this thing, it flies itself. And got to see it firsthand where you turn it on, you hit launch, and it takes off, and it sits there in one spot until you move it. That's not how the cheap ones. So if you've flown a cheap one, you're probably discouraged. You're probably scared to invest. But these things are top of the line. I mean, you can still crash them, But I mean, they have great features like come home. When it's running low on battery, it will come back to where you took off, and within a foot of where I have taken off, it has come back and landed itself. And it's that accurate. So great features for the DJIs.
Yeah, so that's the one thing where you really do have to spend the money, in my opinion. You can save money on your cameras and your mics and some of the other stuff, but if you're really serious about getting a drone, and do a lot of research before you do that. Make sure that where you're at and where you plan to be is a place that you can even fly a drone. Like you can't fly a drone in a national park.
Yeah,
and most parks can't either.
We cannot fly, and we haven't been able to fly for the last 8 weeks. We were on a military installation. Now we're at a military recreation area. Can't fly a drone. Can't fly a drone in national parks. I mean, a lot of state parks you can't fly drones. So yeah, and then again, like you said, with the weight restrictions on getting a license. So if you're going to get a drone, I mean, that's as big as my hand.
Yeah.
And no license required.
Yeah.
So the downfall of the small ones is they're harder to keep in the line of sight because they're smaller.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing. But again, just think real long and hard before you get a drone. Just because the last thing I want to see is people get discouraged because they spend all this money on their YouTube channel and their channel doesn't grow, or it doesn't grow as fast as they think it should. And they've invested, thousands and thousands of dollars. They get discouraged and they quit. Yeah. Again, get the drone if you know you're going to be in places where you can use it. And actually, DJI, if you go to their website, it'll show you where you can and can't fly it in a map.
Ours won't even let me take off.
Yeah. And if you're in a place where it's a no-fly zone, you can't take off. It won't even let you. And like where we live, we're close to an Army airfield. So I get a warning every time we go to fly it.
Yeah.
So
like airfields, prisons, correctional facilities, national monuments, anything that's like high security stuff, you're not gonna be able to fly.
Huh. Hadn't heard of that one, Drew. Had to look into that. Since my drone's in the hospital.
But hey, I got a question for Drew on that one, because is it like DJI Care? Because DJI Care is, I think, $40 a year or something like that, but you have to have something to send back. You can't just say I crashed it in the lake and it's gone. You have to send them something.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if Drew's insurance covers total loss and not recoverable. Like you flew it off a ravine and you can't get to it.
Yeah. And, here's a great point as well. Many crews, ports, and countries have their own flight. Yeah. Every country has their own rules on drones. Some ban them outright. Some are like, whatever, do what you want to do.
Yeah, if you lose it, you lose it. Okay.
Yeah. So definitely check state, local, and national laws wherever you're at before you try to fly your drone. Now, again, if you're using DJI, because I can't speak for anybody else, DJI will not let you fly if you're in areas that are restricted spaces.
Yeah.
And they also show you areas that have that are called, I can't remember what they call them, but they call them go fly zones, go fly or something like that. But they're like places where you can just go and fly. I guess it's like really, really big open airspace. And again, there's a whole lot of rules behind it. So we don't want to make this honestly, we could do many, many shows on drone laws and all that other stuff. So I don't want to kind of cut this drone discussion. I don't want to drone on about drones. How about that? So what I do want to do is just, again, keep in mind, be careful before you go spend the big bucks, because the drone is the one thing I say you need to spend the big bucks on if you're going to get a drone. And
you want to see a couple more low techs?
Yes, absolutely.
Because everybody likes the cool cheap stuff that works really well and that we use. So we have this guy, which is a table clip, and your cell phone clips to this side of it. So on one side, I'm going to clip it to the table right here. And if I were going to go live, I clip it to a picnic table or whatever, and then I just take my phone and I clamp it on here, and now I'm in. Stop it from waving around, and that's it. And this thing costs like $6 at like what was it? It was like $1 place or
Five Below.
Five Below. Got this at Five Below for like $5 or below. Yeah, and it's universal. It'll clamp to any phone. And
so I don't think you paid $6 for it at Five Below, then, right?
Yeah, it was like $5. I was with taxes at Five Below.
Oh yeah. And honestly, I'm glad you brought that up. If there's a Five Below near you, you can find some cool gadgets that you can use for phone mounts, camera mounts, things like that at Five Below.
Headphones, Five Below.
Yeah, headphones for sure.
Pretty good non-tangle.
Yeah.
You got to get non-tangles.
All right. Any other low tech gadgets you got laying around there?
I got the lowest tech gadget that I could bring. And we use it almost every time we vlog. There's a whiteboard, dry erase whiteboard. Because you feel my pain, Michael, because we have the same condition. And I'll forget to mention something. So what I do is I write down bullet points or talking points on this. It's on the other side of the camera, and I can glance over and keep myself on track when I'm talking about something on YouTube. And that's low tech there, folks.
Yep, that's definitely low tech. And the one thing I didn't mention too, the last thing I'll mention, then we'll go into channel reviews, is if you're going to live stream, what you really need is a decent webcam to make it easy. And I mean, we have the Razer Kaio is what we use, and we use it for one big reason, because we needed a webcam right now, and we needed a webcam that actually had a cold shoe mount so you could put it on a tripod, and that was the only one we could find. So that's why we use it. It was $90. You can find cheaper, and you can find way more expensive webcams. But again, you want a webcam that shoots HD or higher. And, like for us, I wanted it so I could mount it on a tripod. Now I can also take it off the tripod and I can put it on top of my computer, just like, any other webcam.
That's cool. I didn't think it when they mounted on a tripod. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
And the nice thing too about this particular one, and then one of the reasons why it costs so much, it has a built-in ring light. Now it's off right now. Let me see what happens when I turn it on. See, I turned the ring light on, and I get a little bit more light, but I can't really look at the camera because of I have one of the many benefits of being in the military, besides the ringing in my ears and the forgetfulness, is I also have a very, very, very major light sensitivity issue. I'm falling apart basically, but you know what? It's okay. So, basically any webcam out there, Logitech makes the best, in my opinion.
That's like a $50 Logitech webcam, and it works great.
Yeah, and there are differences between the $20 and the $200 Logitechs, but the differences are the features more so than the camera quality a lot of times. So if you don't need the features, don't pay for the features. So with that kind of said, I think we're kind of wrapped up that. So I think we got time to maybe do one channel review. So the first one I see in the chat that types in the word channel review, we'll go ahead and do a channel review on them real quick. Now we have to wait for the good old StreamYard delay.
And Dance RVing gone to the dogs.
Okay, Moon Dance RVing gone to the dogs. All right. Give us just a second to pull that up.
I just wondering, he's a migraine sufferer, so she feels for you. She understands that light sensitivity. His wife has issues too.
Yeah, I have that with, I get migraines because of my head injury, so I'm also a little bit light sensitive, but not terribly. Unless I already have a migraine, then it's bad.
Right. I like that.
Well, I had it up.
I got them up. All right.
All right, so let me share this out real quick.
Moon dance, RVing, gone to the dogs.
I'll say this, it's a cool name.
Yeah,
There you go.
What's the moon dance referencing? Just curious. Sounds like Jeopardy, Drew. He's asked me what game
That's Shelley.
while we're waiting.
You said, what game are we going to play? So I sang Jeopardy for him.
Only a few. So Moondance, I don't know if you heard Dustin, but is there a significance behind that name? If so, could you type it in? So we're looking at.
Oh, it's our wedding song, Moon Dance.
Cool.
That's cool.
So here, that's actually a great shot on the cover photo there.
It is pretty cool.
The roads and the mountains and everything.
Yeah.
And before anybody says anything, because I got somebody yelled at me the last time not too long ago at it. What you're seeing here is I am not logged into YouTube on this channel, on this page. So that way we see it as a new person would see it. So the last, I mean, it wasn't that long ago we did this, and somebody jumped in the chat and said, "Well, you're not even subscribed to them."
Yeah.
Well, there's a method to this madness. We want to see this as somebody who is brand new to your channel, and this is how you do it.
If we come in as ourselves, if we've already visited that channel, it won't show us the intro video. It won't look like a new visitor.
Right. So you have an introduction video that's 6.5 minutes long.
Yeah, I agree with Michael on the background. It's a great picture. I would do a little something to the word moon dance to make it pop. Maybe put a glow behind it, or consider changing the color of the letters of moon dance, because it kind of blends in with the background, and those letters kind of get lost a little bit. Unless you're just very partial to that color, then again, like I said, I put a different color glow behind it or something, make those letters pop out.
Yeah, and take a look at this on your phone too, to see how that background looks, because it seems like more people probably look at YouTube on their phone than they do on a computer nowadays.
Yeah.
So you want it to look. You're not going to get it to look great on both. I think that's impossible.
No, it never lines up right.
But make it look good on the computer and presentable on the phone, I guess, is my advice.
And I have a pet peeve, and I'll be honest, it's probably insignificant, but it's a pet peeve of mine, and that's the white box behind pictures on cover photos. So like your logo, it's a good logo. I'd probably make it a little bit bigger so you can see the pups a little bit bigger, see the wording a little bit bigger, and I would definitely kill that white box. And there's a great website called pixlr.com. pixlr.com. I'm typing in the thing. lr.com. Go there. It's totally free, and you can turn a JPEG into a PNG. You can kill the background and save it as a PNG, and then put a glow behind that, so you don't have that white box.
Do you think that the logo, the RV, would look better on the other side?
I think there's more room on the other side.
Yeah, because there's more room over there.
Especially when you get into adding Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and Amazon, Patreon, all that stuff, that's going to go on that same side also. So to have that balance, maybe put the logo on the other side.
Yeah. Now on this, there's no links to any other social media. So I don't know if you have a Facebook page or an Instagram page or Twitter or whatever. If you don't, I highly recommend getting them all, and use them, because they're all methods to drive traffic to your YouTube page. So, and if you go, and we'll get there in a minute, so I don't want to talk more about that, but just keep that in mind. So, all right, what else you got, Dustin?
Yeah, so I would say you touched on it a little bit, the intro video. The intro video is 6.5 minutes. The intro video should be somewhere between 30 and 90 seconds long. That's just going to tell people the who, what, when, where, how, who you are, what your channel's about, what people can expect to see, why they should watch you, and hope to see you on my channel. And that's about it.
Yeah, so think of it like a movie trailer you would see in a movie theater. You know, the previews of upcoming movies. You know, they're minute-ish, minute and a half long sometimes, and that's kind of where you want to shoot for.
Yeah, because I mean, you don't want a new viewer. People's attention span is super short. You don't want a new viewer. This is what's really trying to sell your channel. So I mean, you want to be in. You want to be very, very excited. I mean, you want to have a lot of energy in that video, or you want to have some really important stuff in there, and then like just give them a reason. And you can tell if you're telling your whole story in that video, you can do that in another video on your channel, like get to know us or about us or whatever. But your intro video should just really be pretty quick.
Yeah.
I would, if that video is telling about you, I would just maybe rename that, put a different thumbnail on it, and put it into your playlist somewhere.
Yeah, and
keep that video if it's good.
Yeah, and let's see. We scrolled down here a little bit. You've got some. You've got a playlist that has everything on it, which is good. I kind of like your thumbnails, to be honest with you. Like the street sign or whatever you want to call that.
Yeah, I like it.
That's definitely unique. You don't see that very often, and you've got your faces or a dog's face in every one of these thumbnails. Let me just click on the videos real quick.
Yeah, the good thing about these thumbnails with that sign is, and I talk about it all the time, is, man, you gotta be able to read your stuff on any device, tablet, phone, whatever, and you don't want your words getting lost. So with the sign, with the green background, the white writing, you could look on every one of your thumbnails, and I could read those very easily. So good job on that. Yeah.
And the only thing I would say is that latest video you have it's hard to read. You've got
the white lettering below the sign is hard to read.
Yeah, the white letter below the sign is very hard to read.
Yeah. And again, with your logo, I mean, that's, my little pet peeve. But I mean, it's up to you. If you want to take that white background off, I would. And then, your logo is pretty small on your thumbnails. So it's kind of hard to see and read the logo.
And there's a lot of school of thought on that. Some people say don't even put your logo on your thumbnails. Some people do. If you have a logo with a lot of stuff in it, like you do, when you make it smaller, it's kind of hard to see the details, especially if you're looking at it on a phone. So you might even be better served by not having your channel logo on your thumbnails.
Yeah. And Moondad, hey, real quick, type in the chat there what you're using, what software you're using to create your thumbnails. Just curious. That's a good. I know we've used that before on this thumbnail with the awning nightmare. I love that chiller font when you have an interview. We used that when we had our flood in Branson, and it just catches your eye. Not that you should use it every time, but when it's appropriate, and when you're talking about a nightmare, and I mean, it's very appropriate usage of that font. So we use the same font on all of our stuff, but when we have a moment like that, it's good to do something a little different just to catch people's eye.
Yeah. Now we're kind of running out of time, so I'm just going to jump over to the About section real quick. Okay, you've got a lot of words in there, and that's fine. A lot of people either leave this blank or say, I'm new to YouTube. So you're actually telling people who you are, which is the point of this. One thing you don't have on here, again, what I talked about in the beginning, you don't have links to your other social media. You may not have any other social media, and you also don't have an email address. Now, some people don't like to put their email address on here, but it's not a bad idea to have an email address on here, to have a way for people to contact you, because they may be a fan who wants to give you a video idea or give you money, or a company that wants you to review their product. I mean, even though you've only got under 100 subscribers, that doesn't mean somebody can't reach out to you and want you to help promote their product or review their product. But there's no way for anybody to get a hold of you. So I would recommend doing that. If you don't have a specific email address for your YouTube channel, then create one. I know a lot of people just use their personal Gmail account and then they make their YouTube account off of that. I would get a whole new Gmail account, and that's just for your YouTube, and that way your YouTube and your personal don't mix.
Yeah, exactly. I clicked into your latest video. I was just kind of looking at your description real fast. Yeah, I mean, so you have all the triple keywords that I'm looking for. So when I'm talking about triple keywords, I'm talking about in the title and the description and in the tags. You have the same thing, but here's the thing. You have to have a reason for people to click on your stuff. So a tactic that a lot of people that are doing well on YouTube are using is they're using a portion of a phrase or something that they talked about in that video with a open-ended ending or a portion of a sentence to leave you hanging, to get the viewer to go, man, I need to know what comes next. When you put a title on there, it just says Pennsylvania Grand Canyon. People are like, I don't know what that is. I don't know if I want to watch that. But there's something interesting that happened, like, I don't know, I have to go and watch the video to give you a suggestion, but there's got to be some kind of a cliffhanger to get you to click.
Yeah. And I apologize, but we kind of got to cut it off there, but I hope that was helpful to you. Go back and rewatch it if we talked a little bit too fast. And anybody else need a channel review, again, the comments we make applies to everybody. And again, they're just suggestions and our opinions and the opinions we've learned from either our time on YouTube and, being involved with other people. A couple of quick notes for those of you who wanted an update on the t-shirt fundraiser we started Sunday night. We are almost at $3,000 raised. The goal is $10,000, and I just dropped the link to go buy a t-shirt or to donate money. Again, 100% of your donations go straight to Vets United, and all of the profits from the t-shirt sales go to Vets United. You have 12 days left to buy, and once the 12 days are up, that's it. There's no more. The t-shirts will never be sold again. So these are limited edition t-shirts. Now, Avenge RV Adventure, being the awesome dude he is, he's already dropped the link for Traveling Down Ambassadors. They're coming up next. So I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight or today, whatever it is, wherever you are, morning, noon, and night. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? So thank you guys so much for being here with us. If you find a place in your wallet to donate money to Vets United, we'd really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. And I want to give a special thanks, shout out again to the Old Nick Williams Farm and Distillery for allowing me really at the last minute, because I got hung up on a work call and we were stuck here, really the last minute to let me broadcast from here. So if you guys are ever in Westernish, North Carolina, look them up. They're harvest hosts, so you can bring your RV here and get hammered, and then you can go back to your RV. And then you can get up the next morning and come over here and get hammered again. I mean, right? But I'm sorry, what's your name? Zeb makes the best old fashioned I've ever had. Of course, he's working with great ingredients too. Yeah. So come say hi to Zeb, and it's a whole family run operation. Yep. So come check them out. So thanks a lot, guys. Have a great day, and we'll see you later.
See ya.